If you create content in the world of social media, it is a beautiful week to be in this industry because there is so much going on. We have the TikTok ban. There are so many types of content trending. I also have the best content idea today that you need to put in your content calendar this week. TikTok has new features. YouTube has new features. There's just a lot going on in the world of social media and content creation today that absolutely needs to come across your desk. If you're new, by the way, welcome to work. Welcome to Busy Blooming. This is your digital office of social media and content creation. Feel free to grab a desk, subscribe, introduce yourself to your new coworkers down below. We are from all different walks of social media and content. We have influencers, content creators on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, social media managers, freelancers, entrepreneurs. We have so many different types of people who create content in the world of social media. And welcome to your office, Busy Blooming, where every Monday we clock in to start our week together of everything that needs to come across your desk. New platform updates, trends, content ideas. We have a little bit of a meeting every single week, and I just have absolutely loved being here. This is the second week we're officially doing this new format of the show, and I absolutely love it. And also make sure to subscribe. And I think with all that being said, we should just get into it. We have a lot of work to do together today, so let's clock in and let's go to work together today. Okay, before we get into the rest of the episode, I have to tell you about something that you already know I love, and this has made the biggest difference for me and my content as a creator, and that is Storyblocks. I actually use Storyblocks every single week. Every episode of this show, if you watch on YouTube, if you watch on Spotify, has Storyblocks used in the video. If you ever see confetti in the videos or overlays or graphics or any green screen, like, you know, in the after hours, we always have the confetti, that's from Storyblocks. Storyblocks is a stock media subscription service offering unlimited access to high quality stock videos, images, music, sound effects, and more. And what's so cool about them is they have an unlimited model, so you can get unlimited downloads of diverse and high quality media for one predictable subscription cost. So there's never any hidden fees or costs. Using Storyblocks is such a good way to make your content stand out. Whether it's short form content, long form content, you can pick from so many cool green screens, overlays, texture graphics. Let's say you're a vlogger on YouTube or on TikTok and you want to have like a drone footage of the city that you live in that shows a day in your life, but like a transitional between clips. You could go to Storyblocks and get the most amazing, gorgeous footage for your videos. Adding music and sound effects also makes such a difference to your short form and your long form content, and they have everything you need. Storyblocks uses authentic stock content created by real artists, and so their stock collections celebrate the human experience, capturing stories and emotions that AI can't replicate. Also, I know a lot of us over here are entrepreneurs and run brand and corporate social media accounts, and so by using Storyblocks, you have clear-cut licensing with the highest level of legal coverage in the industry, so you can focus on creating and not double-checking your legal rights, because everything on Storyblocks is 100% royalty-free, which is amazing. To get started with unlimited stock media downloads at one set price, head to storyblocks.com/testbarkley or click the link in the description below. I use them every single week. I love them so much. I highly recommend them for anybody who creates content on social media, so go check them out. With all that being said, thank you again to Storyblocks, and let's get into the episode. Okay, so before we get into the trends, the content ideas, all of that, we need to have a quick meeting because I saw something this week that you absolutely need to bring in to your content strategy this week in social media. And this is a quote I saw from one of my favorite creators, JT Barnett. We have to have him come into the Busy Blooming office one day soon. He was talking about the difference between successful creators and brand new creators. And this is what he said, okay? Is that new creators look at what's working on social media and exceptional successful creators look at what's missing on social media. This actually stopped me in my tracks because I have also been listening so much to Emma Grede. I don't know if you guys know Emma Grede. I am clinically obsessed with her. She is the founder of Skims, the founder of Good American, and she was recently doing a big podcast run. She was on Diary of the CEO, she's on Mel Robbins, she has her own podcast, and she was telling the story of when she founded Good American and how there was white space, and white space in business and entrepreneurship means that there is an unmet market, like there's this empty market of a need that no one is meeting. Like, for example, when she founded Good American, there was nobody doing really nice in-style good denim for plus size. Nobody was doing really nice plus size fashion. Like, it was all kind of not the best styles. And so that was some white space that she saw in the fashion market. And so that mixed with JT's comment about looking not at what's working on social media, but looking at what's missing on social media, I'm like, this absolutely has to come across the desk of all of us in the Busy Blooming office this week. And so what I want us to do is take this into our content strategies, whether you're a brand, you're an influencer, you're a personal brand, you run a social media account, is try to start start thinking with the lens of two things. The people who create the same content that you create, what is missing? Like, let's say in fashion, are people not talking about prices? Are people not talking about certain brands? Are people not talking slow fashion, trends, Pinterest? Like, what are people not talking about enough? But the second piece of this is, who are people not talking to? Because over here at Busy Blooming, we talk all the time about trying to identify the problem that you're solving on social media, trying to think about, okay, what makes me unique? What makes me stand out? What's different about you? And these can be big questions that are kind of hard to solve with your content. And so this is such a practical exercise you can actually do, is think about what is missing. What are the topics in your world that people are not talking about enough? And who is the target audience that's missing? Who are people not talking to enough? And this is something I think about all the time. Busy Blooming, this is like what fuels our entire business and my content strategy and the business strategy and everything, is because of these questions. Like, in the world of content creation content, I'm sure, as you know, there are so many types of people who talk about content creation, who give social media advice. And the reason I do Busy Blooming the way I do and why I talk the way I talk about social media is because I feel like there's so much white space of people not talking about the intersection of the emotional mindset part of it, or the human part of social media, corporate strategies enough, the branding, the execution. I feel like people don't talk about the corporate strategies enough, the branding, the execution. And then the target audience I think is missing, is I feel like people talk so much about like going viral and getting views, but nobody talks enough to people who are so business minded with social media. You want it to be your business, and that is like the only type of person I really talk to, is somebody who doesn't just want to go viral for no reason, but you want to monetize social media, make it an income stream, or you're an entrepreneur and you do social media as well. Like, that I think is the white space I really try to tackle at Busy Blooming. So try to do the same this week. Think about, okay, in my world of social media, what is missing, and what is the target audience that's missing that people just aren't talking to enough? Okay, so that is it for today's meeting. I just quickly wanted to bring that to your attention for your work week in the world of social and content. Ask yourself those questions. Stop obsessing over what's working. Think about what's missing, what's the target audience missing, what are people just not talking about enough, who are people not talking enough to, and have that shape your content strategy a little bit, especially when we talk about trends and content ideas and all of that, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so this brings me to the next part of our meeting today, which is what needs to come across your desk. This is my favorite part of the show. And so what we do is I go through a couple trends from Instagram and TikTok and a unique way that you can do them. I also give one content idea for the week. You guys, this week's content idea, I'm so excited about. And then I also go through anything in terms of platform news, like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, social media platform updates. The TikTok ban we'll definitely chat about, because this is the week TikTok is supposed to get banned. And the goal of this entire thing is that every single week you leave the show with everything that needs to come across your desk. You know what you need to know. You have a content calendar of ideas. You have the latest on all the platform updates, and you just know what needs to come across your desk. You're informed. You're ready. If someone at work picks up the TikTok ban, you're like, I actually know everything about the TikTok ban because of Busy Blooming. Okay, so let's start off with content trends and ideas. So in Busy Blooming HQ this week, I actually have 11 content ideas I just posted last night in the content trends and ideas report. Every single week at HQ, I post a gorgeously formatted PDF with examples, content ideas, trends, and every single trend, there's a unique take on it. There's a unique way that you can actually not just get views, but convert people to followers from these trends. And so for today, I've selected 3 from that report, and I'm so excited because there's a lot of different types of content trending right now, and I have some good ideas that will fill up your calendar for the week. Okay, so the first trend. This is the life with trend, we're gonna call it. This is going around on TikTok and Instagram. It's a 10-second video, text on screen, and the whole concept of it is it's usually with couples. For example, a boyfriend will be like, life with her, and that's the text on screen, and it's showing juxtaposing clips of the first clip of a kitchen that's empty, and then it'll be like life with her, and then a little ding transition sound happens, and it'll be like her little flower, it's a little notebook, like showing their home in different shots of life without her versus life with her. It's a really cute 10-second video, super easy lift. But as much as we love that, as much as we love a trend, at Busy Blooming, we don't just jump on random trends that have nothing to do with our brand. We create trends that are intentional for our niche target audience, that are cohesive with the rest of our brand. So if someone sees your video, it pops off, it's a trend, and they go to your page, page, it's cohesive, it aligns, because then you're going to actually convert somebody to a following, which is why it is so important to have a brand strategy and a cohesive brand, and not niche down what you talk about, but niche down who you talk to. Anyway, so for this trend, what I would do instead of just doing this is I would do the text on screen as life as a blank. So something about you. So for me, it'd be like life as a podcaster, life as a fitness coach, life as a shopaholic, life as somebody who's on a weight loss journey, life of somebody who reads 300 books a year. Like whatever is something about you that is relevant and cohesive with your brand, that is what I would use to theme and shape the video. And then what you're going to do is take clips of different parts of your apartment, or you could just do a shorter version of like just your desk. So then you would show a before clip of just a plain desk or a plain area of your apartment. And then the next clip when the transition sound happens is all of these like niche things to your target audience and what you're talking about. So let's say, for example, I'm going to do this and I'll be like, okay, life of a podcaster. And then I would have different clips of parts around my apartment, or maybe I would just do my desk depending on how long I want the video to be. You could just pick one area and it'd be like life as a content creator. And then it'd be a plain desk, and then the little ding transition sound would happen. And then I would have niche things. Like I'd have an Octo Buddy. Maybe I'd have story blocks open on my laptop. I'd have my iPhone. I'd have like my little bow microphone. Like I'd have little things that only I know you would get as somebody who's also a podcaster or also a content creator. And the whole video is shaped around things like that, because then that video is so much more savable and shareable and relatable, and you connect with your audience, and it's so cohesive with your brand. There's so many ways you could do this. You could either shape it around like a journey you're on, like life of somebody who's on a weight loss journey, or a 5 a.m. wake up journey, somebody who just got laid off from their job, like something that is cohesive but relatable, savable, shareable with your brand. And I think this is just a fun take on the trend that I haven't seen. Okay, next up, we absolutely have to discuss the unfortunately I do love trend. I have never seen a trend get this much traction all summer. I think the last time I saw a trend that was this popular was the holy airball trend. And this trend is doing numbers right now. It is absolutely everywhere. People are also roasting the trend. They're saying people's list of things they unfortunately do love are just not good enough, not bold enough. Like that's when you know a trend is popular, is when people are making content about the trend. For context, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's absolutely okay. It probably means your screen time is in such a mentally healthy amount. Probably means you don't have like early onset carpal tunnel at age 28. But what this trend is a text on screen. It's a list, and the text on screen says, unfortunately, I do love. And then we'll have a list of things you unfortunately love. Like I do love splitting a bottle. I do love wearing sweatpants all day. Like, I don't know. It'll be things that are unfortunate that you love them. And I get what people are saying. Like I get the commentary that people's list is a little weak. I don't know. I feel like it's fun. Like just let us have fun for a second on social media. But in my opinion, when a trend is getting this big, there's a way to capitalize on it that's not just doing the trend, because I think people are going to get fatigued really quick. The way I recommend doing that is through switching up the format. So rather than just doing a long list of things that are unfortunate that you love, I would do one thing that you unfortunately love, or one thing that you unfortunately hate. It's a way to kind of switch up the format, make it easier to digest. Also, it makes it more savable and shareable. And so, for example, I would do really simple text on screen of, unfortunately, I love, and then I would make a really niche one thing, because then you're banking on people like saving it, resharing it more, because they don't have to resonate with an entire long list of things. And so for me, I'd say, unfortunately, I do love having 40-hour long screen time. You could even make it advice based. You could be like, unfortunately, I hate the advice of niching down, or unfortunately, I hate something related to your brand, or advice that you hate. Another way you could do this is you could do a themed list that's like ironically similar. So for example, you could say, unfortunately, I do love Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift's fiance and Taylor Swift's engagement ring, and that Taylor Swift has an album coming out. Like you could make a really ironically niched specific list that's all like the same thing in different words. That could also be really funny. Like, for example, you could say, unfortunately, I do love spending money and shopping and living above my means and online shopping and going in store and shopping. Like it could be one really, really specific list, or it could be like one sentence of something. I would switch up the format. You also could do a carousel. I haven't seen a carousel version of this yet come across my desk, so you could do that. But what I would do is one of the previous formats of, I would switch it up in one of these ways and just have a bit of a unique angle on it. Of course, something that relates to your brand. Okay, the third trend of the week I wanted to highlight is That Boy Is Corrupt. And Sabrina Carpenter has about 30 seconds of trending left before Taylor Swift launches her album on October 3rd, because Sabrina Carpenter is absolutely everywhere right now. All of the trends on social media are Sabrina Carpenter, at least on my page. It's absolutely everywhere. It's all I'm seeing on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. And I do think she has a couple more weeks. And then I do believe that Taylor Swift's new album will have the same effect, infiltrate all of the trends, which I love. Okay, so the third trend, That Boy Is Corrupt. This is something people are really using as an outfit transition song. And they're like, that boy's corrupt. And they're taking their purse and they're like throwing it at the camera. And then it's before clip. And once the purse swipes through the camera, it's them in a gorgeous outfit looking amazing. How I would do this trend is something I haven't seen. And I thought maybe we could start a new trend this week. So what I think we should all do is take the That Boy Is Corrupt song, and instead of using it as an outfit transition video, use it as a way to put text on screen of something that's one sentence that your audience would think is corrupt, but it's like not actually corrupt and it's funny. So the format would basically be like a 6 or 7 second long video, you saying, mouthing the words to That Boy Is Corrupt. And then it's just a simple sentence of text on screen in brackets saying, he said park sweatshirts are ugly, or he said he didn't like Taylor Swift, or he said MyFitnessPal's his favorite app, like something like that. It's not obviously about a real person or something you actually heard, or maybe it is, but it's just text on screen in brackets of something that your niche audience would think is so like quote unquote corrupt, but like not actually, and it's funny. I haven't seen that anywhere, so I don't have an example exactly to put on screen, but it's a trend that I think we could all start. Okay, so those are the 3 trends. If you want the rest of the trend report, go check out Busy Blooming HQ, but those are the ones for the show today. Okay, so that brings me to my content idea of the week. I am so excited about this idea. And as you know, one thing about me, I love a content idea. Content ideas is my favorite part of this entire job. So my one idea for the show this week that we all absolutely have to do is something I'd like to call the 2025 summer credits. And so this is the last week before fall of 2025. It's the last week of summer. So I thought, what if people do videos where it's like a 6 or 7 second long video with this song, the Fleetwood Mac song, which I can't play. But if you hear it, I searched for so long to find a summery song that also sounds like the end of a movie. So it's a 6 second video with this song playing. And the text on screen says, my ending credits of summer 2025. And then it's a list of things that you learned or took away from summer 2025 that relates to your audience. So for example, I would be like, my summer 2025 credits, YouTube is the best platform to grow on. TikTok isn't getting banned. Instagram carousels are popping off. Like things I learned about content creation this summer, but you could do this for your brand of like takeaways, lessons learned. Is your summer 2025 ending credits? Like, I think that's just such a fun way to end out the summer. I haven't seen this. I feel like it's just a fun thing to do this year, to end out the summer. That's not just like an end of summer carousel that like no one's going to save or reshare, which are also fun. But this feels like very cohesive, on brand, will convert followers. It could be very repostable, very savable, shareable to people's stories. And I feel like it's just a really fun way to close out the summer, reflect, but then also provide value and like entertainment to your audience. Okay, so those are the content ideas, the trends for your content calendar this week. And again, please feel free to always hashtag Busy Blooming, tag us. I will go through and be in there in the comments. I need to see your content. Now let's get into the social media platform news that needs to come across your desk this week. The first thing we need to talk about is the TikTok ban, because TikTok has been for a while now, throughout the whole summer, looming to be banned on September 17th. And this has been going on for quite a while. And there was actually a New York Times article posted over the summer. I will link all my sources below as well that I chat about. And there was a New York Times article posted that basically explained that the ban is going to be extended. It's not going to happen, which you could kind of gather looking at the previous bans. It's clearly like not actually about the TikTok ban. It's clearly about so many other things. The TikTok ban is like a chess piece that we do not need to unpack today on the podcast. But ultimately, from everything I've read this week and over the summer, the TikTok ban is extended, or is going to be extended. It's expected to be extended. Obviously, at the time of posting this, it hasn't occurred yet, the 17th. And then maybe we'll see something switch up, and next Monday we will meet here and be discussing how TikTok is banned, but I highly doubt it. Again, this ban is only going on in the US. TikTok has been banned before. It was banned in India a few years ago, but this looming TikTok ban is only for TikTok in the US. That being said, as a Canadian creator myself, TikTok getting banned in the US, in my opinion, is pretty much the demise of TikTok. There have been rumors that there's a US only TikTok app being built. There's a lot of rumors swirling, clearly. But all you need to know is the facts is that TikTok is supposed to be banned on September 17th. And from everything I've seen online, it is going to be extended. Quote unquote extended. But if not, then I'll see you on Monday and we will unpack. Speaking of TikTok, a couple new features I think need to come across your desk is firstly, something that I cannot find an article on anywhere. I asked our girl ChatGPT, she could not find anything, is I actually got the most interesting notification this week. And I'm so curious, and I will post this in HQ and see if anyone else got this as well, but I'll put it on the screen now. So I was scrolling on TikTok, as I do, and I got this notification come up that said, get updates sent via SMS. You will also be sent trending content, newsletters, promotion, and account updates. And so what I thought was so interesting, and maybe I am completely zoned out, but you could opt in to get text message updates about trending content. And if that is the case, TikTok is so ahead of the curve, because I personally think this is some quote unquote white space in the market, is platforms sending text messages when things are trending or when there's updates or whatever it is. I think SMS marketing is such a powerful tool for product-based businesses, like even Odd Muse, which I'm sure you've heard about all over social media. I love following that brand and the founder and her whole journey, but they even say, just like every clothing brand, that SMS texting is like the best marketing channel, more than email, more than social, more than anything. Is texting is the best way to convert people for product-based businesses. So I always thought like it's such a gap for social media platforms to not be texting their users updates or trends. So if this is true, I think this is genius. So it's just something to come across your desk. If you got the same notification, let me know, but I think that is so interesting. But again, I haven't seen this published anywhere. It's not on TikTok creators. So that is a storyline we'll be following because I think that's genius. Something else I just got access to on TikTok this week is TikTok's AI creator assistant. I don't know if you've seen this. TikTok launched a new TikTok studio, which is amazing. It kind of reminds me of a mix between Instagram's professional dashboard and YouTube's studio, where you can see trending content, you can see what your followers are watching, you can see similar content creators to you are making. Like, it's really nice that both YouTube and Instagram have this, but TikTok has never really had that, and now they have launched the TikTok studio. I just got it. I do believe this has been available for a while. I feel like it's something interesting to know is that TikTok actually launched a feature where you can look what your followers are searching, which I think is so cool. So I can see that people who follow me on TikTok are searching content plan, first of the month sounds trending, how to use You're So Pretty audio, design trends. Like, that's really interesting to me that that's what my followers are searching on TikTok. But what I think is the most interesting, and of course I would think this, is they have created an AI creator assistant, and I actually used it. It reminds me a lot of Rella's AI Ella, which I think is better because that goes across all of your social media. But the creator assistant is actually really good. I went on TikTok and I was chatting to my little creator assistant today, and I asked it to summarize my performance on TikTok, and it actually did. I'll put the screenshot up, but if you're listening, I'll read it out a little bit. It says, okay, here's a clear summary of your TikTok's account's recent performance. And it said this week, I increased my follower count by 1,200%. My views dropped by 36%. Love that. My engagement rate was up 150%. I got 1,358 new followers this week, 700,000 views. I posted 9 TikToks. Like, it's kind of interesting to get these analytics in a new way. The coolest part about it, which is what it reminds me a little bit of Ella, but again, I prefer Ella, but it shows your top performing videos and gives you suggestions. So for example, I actually posted a clip from this podcast last week and it got 65,000 views, which is amazing. And so it gives me a suggestion of like, okay, post more content about trends. It's very interesting. Again, I think this is genius to have little AIs within each social media platform of like summarizing all your analytics as if it's more human, like people are actually talking to you and then telling you what it means. So the new TikTok Creator Studio, it's really popping off. I'm kind of entering my TikTok era again. I've very much been in my YouTube creator era, but I'm trying to get back into TikTok. It used to be my main platform back in 2023. All I did was TikTok. I didn't really do YouTube. I didn't do Instagram. Instagram. I was a TikTok girly through and through, and it's time to get back in there. So that's what needs to come across your desk in terms of TikTok this week. For Instagram, nothing I saw in terms of platform updates, a couple new features and edits, but nothing crazy that I think needs to come across your desk. So let's quickly chat about YouTube. This feature I think is so cool on YouTube, and I actually noticed this when I was watching Emma Grede on the Mel Robbins podcast this week, which was such an amazing episode, by the way. But I actually noticed when I was watching the podcast, when I went to look down at the video description, I noticed it said it wasn't just on the Mel Robbins channel, it said Mel Robbins and Emma Grede, like a collab post as if you would have on Instagram. And I thought, interesting, because YouTube is the last platform to not have collab posts. On TikTok, you can have collab posts. You can post something on my TikTok and your TikTok, and it could go on both of our pages, but it's the same video. Just like on Instagram, you can obviously have a collab post. Me and Busy Blooming, we have collab posts all the time. And now YouTube has it, which I think is so cool. If you're a guest on someone's podcast, maybe if you have a vlog channel and a main channel, you can post a video kind of on both. I just think it's very interesting that YouTube did this for long form content. And so I thought that absolutely needed to come across your desk this week. Okay, so that ends our segment of what needs to come across your desk, the trends, content ideas, and all the platform updates news. Something else I wanted to say is I'm starting to weave in LinkedIn and Pinterest more heavy into our content strategy for my personal content and for Busy Blooming. And so I'm going to start bringing in LinkedIn and Pinterest more into our updates, what needs to come across your desk, because I think those two platforms are so underrated. Also, Facebook as well is something I would like to get more into rather than just focusing on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So if you're interested as well as entering your Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn era, then I will start including that more in the podcast of what's going on those platforms, because obviously we have the big three that everyone is on, but I do think those are very untapped potential that a lot of us could really capitalize on and get into over here at Busy Blooming. One time I went to an influencer event in Toronto, and it was a LinkedIn influencer creator event. One of the LinkedIn influencers made $100,000 for sponsors, like brand deals on LinkedIn. So I think at Busy Blooming, we all need to get into our LinkedIn era. And it's something I have worked with clients on, like creator clients. I've worked with them on their LinkedIn strategy as well. And it's an amazing platform that you can really monetize and really grow on. So anyways, I just wanted to say that. We're going to be adding that more into our meetings here at Busy Blooming because I think it's important. Okay, so that concludes our meeting for the day, our work day. I hope you feel equipped and ready and excited with a full content calendar, a new lens on content of what's missing, who's missing, all the trends. We know the news, and I'm just so excited to be starting off a new week with you together in the world of social media and content. And if anything else needs to come across your desk this week, then check out the Busy Blooming Instagram. Also feel free, of course, to join Busy Blooming HQ. I'm in there every day. And I think that's it for work today. I think it's officially time to get into After Hours, which is our after work segment where we talk about things off the clock, out of office, things that are trending in pop culture on social media, things that are not work related, like mental health, the entrepreneur side of everything. And I'm just so excited. So with all that being said, let's clock out of work and let's get into After Hours and let's get into it. Okay, welcome to After Hours. It is a sunset moment right now in the apartment. So the sun will be setting a little bit in After Hours, but I'll keep it quick. And I just want to say, now that we're out of the office, our boss can't hear us, that in this section of After Hours, the whole goal of this and like why I want to do it is, first of all, I love talking about pop culture, and we need to talk about how Taylor, Frankie, Paul is the next Bachelorette, which we will, and just talk about pop culture, things that are trending on social media that are fun to talk about, just because I love talking about that stuff, and I know a lot of you do too. But also in After Hours, I wanted to talk a lot about the deeper, like, human emotional side of all of it. All of these things that we do, like building your dream life and trying to build a business and being an entrepreneur and a founder and building a social media creative business like an Instagram following, a YouTube channel, a podcast, creating Pinterest boards and trying to make your vision board a reality, and having goals and quarterly goals and content strategies and business strategies and life strategies, and trying to be the best version of yourself and your highest self, and then grow on social media and grow your business and grow your revenue and like change your life all the time and upgrade and like do all these things. If you feel like it's difficult, it's because it is. It's so hard. And I think when it comes to growing on social media, people don't say that enough, that how hard and difficult it is. It is so difficult and so deep and so complicated. And you have to be so messy, but then package it like you're not messy. And I do really believe that specifically as entrepreneurs, and when I say entrepreneur, I mean like content creator, creative entrepreneurs, creator entrepreneurs who are growing a business through their Instagram and all, like regardless if you're a founder of a product-based business or a creator entrepreneur, I do really believe that pursuing all this does take a dramatic toll on your nervous system, on your mental health, your emotional health, your identity, your self-development. Like it is, I think, very deep. Anyways, I just wanted to say and like validate anybody who is feeling like, why is this so difficult for me, that you feel that way, because it is. Anyways, I've been through it with all this, and we're going to start talking about this more after hours every single week after work. So I'm really excited. And I do want to open up more about my mental health, specifically like certain things that I have never talked about that I would love to. So we're going to get personal and deep after hours every week. One other thing we need to talk about this week, pop culture, super quick, is Frankie Paul is the new Bachelorette. And this is the big news. If you guys don't know, Frankie Paul, she's a TikToker. She's also on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She is blown up on social media over the years for being on Mom Talk from Utah. And she's like a Mormon on the Mormon Mom Utah TikTok side that I actually have not really followed her or been a part of it. But I know people are hating on this, but I want to say this is good news for the world of social and content, because if you ever have thought content creation is dying, social media is dying, all of this, we have an influencer as the Bachelorette, which used to be like the biggest show in the US. And yes, she's also on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but all of this has come from social media. And I think it's good news in the social media influencer world. I think it's very exciting for all of us, because I think it just shows how powerful social media is. And I will be watching. I'll be clocking in on Mondays whenever it comes out, maybe in January. And I'm really excited about that. And I just think it's really exciting. So anyways, that is it for our work meeting today. I hope you're doing well. That is everything that needs to come across your desk, and I will see you next Monday. We'll check it if TikTok was banned. We'll have some good after hours. We'll go through all the things that we need to go through. And in the meantime, I'll see you on Instagram, on TikTok, and Busy Blooming HQ. We're going to do some more live audits on Thursday. I'll audit some of your content in HQ live. And with all that being said, thanks for clocking in with me. Also, make sure to go check out Storyblocks. I'm obsessed with them. Go check the link in the description. Thank you to Storyblocks for sponsoring today's episode. And I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.